Oh, happy day. Oh, happy day. There's my lavender. It's so beautiful. We had a big rain. Look at this. I propagated that climbing rose. It was about 3 inches 2 years ago. Ooh, I'm so happy for that. How are y'all? Welcome today. This is Charla from August Creek Farmhouse, and you will see I've got all my compost. I made some herb tea because I was under the weather yesterday. I brought some dog food and some sunflower seeds to supplement to feed my animals. But the gardens, the trees, the berries, oh, everything is gorgeous from all the rain. I'm gonna feed the animals, then I'll get back on here. We'll go for a little tour. Just to strut and show out. Woo-wee! Hi, Mr. P. And he will strut when you brag on him. Woo-wee, Mr. P. Let's show all of our friends. Woo! Oh, he's dancing for y'all. Woo-wee! Oh, Mr. P, you're beautiful. God made you so beautiful, Mr. P. Oh, look at Mr. P. Oh, you do a good job watching everybody. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. P. He wants to show out some more. Woo-wee! Oh, you're beautiful, Mr. P. How are you, Miss Blackie? How are you, Miss Blackie? I got your food over there. Here's part of the put laying pellets inside of the coop in case anybody wants any. Oh, I see 2 more. All right. Thank y'all. There's a little goose. She thinks, Fiona, I'll give you another goose egg just a minute. This little goose, she thinks she's gonna raise some babies. She don't, but I just let her play with it. What you got? Nope. Okay. You're good, Hazel. We just use these buckets, and I've used the buckets for about 8 or 9 years. We are standing now at the back of our property, and this is our vegetable garden. I keep up bluebird houses. On the back of that, I have a bee habitat. I plant roses through here. This is called Ruella. If I'd have known it was invasive, I would have never planted it. I'm trying to get it out. Day before yesterday, I dug and dug and dug. You can see right there. So my husband, we're trying to work on soil erosion, and I was going to take the Ruella and plant, but beside the creek, August Creek, hence my name. So the roots will go down and help establish and hold that soil. So this is right off the back of the farmhouse. And here is one of my raised beds. I always keep lots of herbs. I have rosemary, and in here I planted cucumbers that haven't come up. There's a couple that's come up. There's nasturtium. These are some volunteer sunflowers. There's a dandelion. I keep it because it's a great pollinator. This is all cilantro. I'm about to pull it. So, am I on their camera? I'm about to pull it so I can dry it. Then here I just planted, I think, fennel and parsnips through here. This is a scuppernong. It's a bronze scuppernong. Look at these tags. That's awesome. Love it. Love to eat these. fresh off the vine. They're wonderful. As we age, I am 58 and a half, and we have decided to do most of our gardening in raised beds just for the ease of us. This I put a grate because while I was planting, that broke off. There's some squash. There's purple bok choy. All of this was volunteer from last year, and I let it bolt because it's wonderful for the bees. Then here, I have to make sure I'm in focus. Here, we've added some beds, and I just put, this is early squash coming up in this one, and then I've planted purple hull peas, string. Oh, there's some of my seeds. Can you see those? I've got that's the bush bean, the stringless green bush bean. All that rain made it pop out. Here's some more. Get back in there. And then I planted some spineless okra. Can you see? In these beds. Then I just put the vinca. Here's some dill, oregano. What is that one? There, that's the oregano. That's the thyme. Marjoram. Now back here, I ordered from M.I. Gardener. These are the Natchez thornless blackberries. And these plugs were wonderful when I got them. So I've added 5, and they will grow up. And I'm going to put a cattle panel because I want the big, they're that big. I want the thornless blackberries to grow up there. Now I haven't got them yet, but I've also ordered some Caddo blackberry plugs that I'll put along there. And these, I just took the tomatoes from the front. These were suckers, and I let them root. Look, it's already got some blooms. Nice. What do you think, Fiona? So we're also adding a couple more beds right through, let's see, right through here. We just haven't got those put together. It's always a project. This is our black jumbo muscadine. I've had these in this raised bed for, I think, 8 years. There's my asparagus bed. These do wonderful. We make muscadine jelly, muscadine wine. We eat them fresh. Okay, these are my purple potatoes I planted all through there. I also planted some little red russets. Always I'm gonna keep herbs. I have to have herbs that they make me feel better. So the lavender, the rosemary, there's the early squash. I keep lots of roses around. There's a rose. This is a muscadine, and it is growing along this fence. I'm telling you, it's gonna put off amazing this year. Look at all those tags. Oh, and then I put my husband's cucumbers along the fence. Those are the Macklemore cucumbers, and I'll let them trellis up. Here, this is an old bed, and hey Fiona, I planted calendula. There's peonies coming up. All of these are okra with a few cucumbers. And then that's mint. Mint has tried to take over. Let's walk over into the berry patch. Come on, Fiona. And then on our arch, these grapes. These are champagne grapes. Come on, Fiona. And they grow up and they go around the trellis. Come on. Always lots of work, and I love it. Fine with me. Now, okay, I've lost my sunflower. Oh, the squirrels just bit it off. I've been babying that. I guess with the rain, it just fell over and they just chewed it up. I've transplanted a rose back here. This is one of my feeding stations for all the birds that we love to keep around. There's bluebirds in that one and one down there. Huh, Fiona. Now, this bed, this is what I'm trying to fight. All of this peppermint, I'm trying my best to pull it all out. I don't want it there. I want it contained, but I use peppermint every single day. So I do use it. I just don't want it growing out here, growing wild, and it did grow wild. Now this is what I call my berry patch. Okay, this is my premier blueberries. These are the strawberries. These strawberries, look, they're almost to my knees. That's how high they are. They grow in this mulch, this pine bark mulch, and I absolutely love using the pine bark mulch. Now this, I think this is a 24-foot arbor that my husband and I built that we put muscadines on. So, but here's the problem. I planted my blueberries next to the muscadines and they grab onto it. And I'm gonna have to move these because I lost 6 of my blueberry plants last year. That is not good. This is another blueberry, and this is an issue that I've got to deal with. These are the raspberries. Well, the canes come up. They're coming up everywhere, and I should have trellised them. I didn't know. I had never planted them before. Very, very grateful to have them, but they also started taking over the blueberries. So what they did is they bound up the roots of my blueberries, and I lost 6 of the blueberries last year. Look at that. Raspberry, blueberry, muscadine. It's just like a Garden of Eden, and that's what I want. These are the blueberries that I lost. So I'll be moving them. These are my figs. I have 2. These are Texas Mission figs, both of them. And I love those. But I have learned that I will not be planting blueberries in all of this big bed. What I'll do is I'll take out the blueberries. I'll be moving them somewhere else. I plant in a permaculture. Like, I love diversity. That seems to help. That's the way I love to plant. So, right here, we'll be going through the muscadine arbor. So when it's picking time, it is really, it comes in handy. I'm looking for some tags right there. It's really handy that the fruit, you can just come underneath here and pick. But see, look at here. I really need to add another panel because it's reaching out so much. It needs more room. That's good. I'll be giving you some more room. Now we'll walk to the bees. I love my bees. Well, God's bees. Always. Oh, there's some ones that work themselves to death. Doggone it. I've been concerned because of all the rains. I'm sorry, little one. I'll get that out of the way. And I'm always thinking, oh my goodness, did they stay? Did they stay? I just added these a few weeks ago. All right. I'm going to turn the camera off and then I'll meet you. Let's go to the front. The plum trees that I planted, it come with a green leaf. It's not purple, but it's a green leaf and it bears fruit. And I can the fruit of these trees every year. Plum jelly, it's wonderful. Here's some starts. Got butterfly flower, holy basil, hyssop, dahlia cactus, catmint, lamb's ear, gomphrena, yarrow, and bee balm. Got some sage, lemongrass, giant poppy rattle, black hollyhock. There's another Peggy Martin. Have lilies. So, back to the story. I planted all of those, I'll throw that down. Here, Fiona. I planted every one of the starts or the shoots. And like I said, I just had a knowing. This is what I call my front garden. We're doing projects out here. I'll take you back here in a moment. But I knew if I planted those trees, this is the front of the farmhouse. All my roses. And you can see the first tree that I planted. That one's smaller than the other ones. But they lived, not only did they live, they thrive. I keep these pruned up. I love to see the bark. That's the way I wanted it. And look at all the fruit up there. So I wanted these trees to produce for me. So these were my first fruit trees. But I love to see the bark. And on the ground, it looks like Skittles to me, like the Skittles candy. So I started everything. I wrote Purple Leaf Plum Shoots 2016. That's when my fruit tree journey began. Not by something I'd been thinking of. I hadn't been thinking of it. It was just something that was dropped in my spirit. The time I thought it sounded kind of silly, but I've learned anything that drops in your spirit, especially the sillier it sounds, or if you think people are going to make fun of you, that's how you know you need to do it. Pretty. So I've got this beautiful row of the green leaf plums in the front of my property, the front of my house. I need to go turn off my aerator system. And come on, Fiona. Fiona's my guard dog. She goes with me everywhere. So when I planted these trees, and now it's 2025, and I planted them in 2016, there was a lot of people that did not understand how these fruit trees, how they made it, how they became what they became. And I've even had a horticulturist to ask me what they were and told me to not eat the fruit of it because they were poison. Well, don't go by my advice. I'm just telling you what I did. This is a mulberry. My husband ran over it, and I put that there so he wouldn't run over it. So in the front this year, this is what I filled every one of these planters with my homemade compost from the barnyard. People said, oh, that's going to be too hot. But it works perfect. I knew how to adjust it. So I've got all the peppers, tomatoes, all different kinds, marigolds, nasturtiums. This is a dog fennel, but I keep it. It's an invasive plant, but I keep it in a pot because it is an insect interrupter. I love the sage to let it bloom. And then over here I have cantaloupe, and I have some onion and an Armenian cucumber growing in there. There's some more cantaloupe and Armenian cucumbers, and I'll allow them to grow up the trellis. Now, not everything works around here because I had a dream. I wanted these nectarine trees, the Rose Princess, to line this side of my driveway, and they have not done anything in years. So what I did is that one died, and I planted a plum start right there. This is walking toward our big pond. This tree looks pitiful, but it keeps trying. I planted some natural grasses, pampas grass, that's a Celeste fig, because I certified our land as a national wildlife habitat. That just means that we keep areas, we don't use pesticides, and we keep areas for the wildlife. So right here, you hear my knee pop. National Wildlife Federation Certified Wildlife Habitat. This property is recognized for its commitment to sustainably provide essential elements of wildlife habitat, food, water, cover, and places to raise young. And my husband and I feel very, very passionate about this. So I had a tree company to come in and just dump loads of mulch. My husband shredded it for me, and the mulch, what it did, it started creating a lot of mycelium and a lot of the fungi that you need to make this land really, really good, because it wasn't too good. I just transplanted some roses. These are climbers, and I will have to put some trellises up. I just done that a few weeks ago, and there's some of that ruella that's so invasive. I love to sit here and enjoy the view. There's Fiona at the deck of the pond. We bought our property and built our home in 2003, but we had to live hustle culture because we were raising our children, and it was just, one of them had an accident anyway, just lots and lots of bills. So work for years and years and years and years. So I didn't get to start this until 2016, and then we had something else happen, and we lost all of our life savings, and we were in our 50s. So we had to start all over again. So at that point, I had already become able to retire I think I was 51, and loving life. And then, you know how things happen. Something happened, and boom, lost everything overnight. And we kept her home. And what I did is I just told my husband, I said, that's fine, I'll go back to work. And so, talk about hustle culture, it'll wear you down. But I had to, and that's what you gotta do. You do what you gotta do. And that's what I did. And that's what he did. So we've been playing catch up with this meal. And I get the dumpster. Did they empty it? Yep. Pull it back. So, in, let's see, 2016, no, that's when I went back to work. So, 2019, 2019? No, 2021. So I worked until 2021 my husband said, okay, you're gonna retire now. And so I retired. Oh, I'm telling you, that type of lifestyle, that just hustle, work, it will break you down. And that's what it was doing to actually both of us. So I retired, and right after that, we both got sick. We were really, really sick for almost a year. Tried to hide it as much as we could, but it was horrible. And I still have residual effects of it to this day. So I gotta sit down a second. So what we did is we just continued to heal. And then when I would feel like it, I would just start planting the fruit trees. My husband would help me. And I actually had this put on my spirit to start this channel years ago. Come here, Fiona. And I just kept saying, well, I'd get sick. And I'd say, well, I can't do this because I'm not feeling well. I'm not this, I'm not that. Let me tell you, my husband and I do everything in our power to stay healthy. It's like a full-time job. And we still get sick. It's literally just the effects of our respiratory system in our lungs. Anyway, I couldn't take it anymore. This is what I'm going to teach you. I can teach you in one sentence. If you want to know what you're supposed to do, if you have an inkling, something's dropped in your spirit, I don't care how bizarre it sounds, how crazy it sounds, that is what you're supposed to do. And I wouldn't listen to that. I just thought I was supposed to be so vibrant. My big personality that I have, I thought, oh, I've got to have perfect health. Well, God said different. And I'm just going to keep pushing through. My husband's going to keep pushing through. Listen to that creek. August Creek. Brings me to a very beautiful, emotional place just talking about it. So, here's the orchard that God put in my spirit to start planting trees. I told my husband, he said there's no way those trees will grow down here because it's a flood zone. And I said, well, I beg to differ. So we just started planting in 2019. Look at these peaches. It's beautiful. Here's one that fell off and probably the squirrels got. So after we started planting, here's one that the birds got. It's still on the vine. Here, Fiona. And my husband knows that I'm going to do whatever I want to do. So I continued buying and planting. And here we are in 2025. And our trees are beautiful. We've had a huge learning curve. We've never done this before. Here's a peach tree. Peaches are very finicky to grow here in the South because they get a lot of disease. This tree we had planted in 2016. It was wonderful. Had so many peaches on it last year, and it just died. So that's our learning curve. So when something dies, we just replant it, research. Here's one I planted in 2023 of the peaches, and this stalk is doing horrible, but that's doing well. But that's not going to stop me. I just keep right on. I love pears. This is a pear tree. Is a small. These are some of the ones we planted later with the fruit. I picked most of it off. Because of the humidity, these peaches get a lot of just diseases. This is a gold mine nectarine. We got nectarines off of it last year. There's another gold mine nectarine. I can't remember what year I planted that one in. There's some nectarines. And it is glorious. I love it. Apricot, I planted that in 2022. So I'm constantly looking for better varieties, constantly planting. So that's what I'm telling you. If you've got something in your spirit, especially the crazier it sounds to you, don't even tell anybody about it. Just go ahead and do it. This is August Creek. Right there. This is the name of my channel, August Creek Farmhouse. When I started the channel years and years ago, it was more about the farmhouse, and it has evolved, so I just kept the name. More peaches. I keep a little bench so my husband and I, when we're working, we can rest or just enjoy the beauty. This is a bridge that when it rains, it washes out. So a big log, this needs to be fixed. Always something, we don't care. These are Indian peaches. Love these. My grandpa had an Indian peach orchard, and that's one of my loves for orchards. As a little girl, climbing the little Indian peaches and gathering them, and we would eat them, and it's a red fruit, and the juice would just fall down our arms to our elbows. In the hot summer, we'd eat the peach fuzz and all. It was delicious. So we purchased this adjoining property later, not with our farmhouse in the property. So we were blessed to get this property, and as soon as we got it, I knew exactly what I wanted to do. So the orchard is on this side. Fiona's gonna go down the creek, and I wanted to extend the orchard and start putting it over here on the new property. And we gained a house. I just call that the orchard house, and we just use it. I use it in the wintertime as a greenhouse to put all my citrus. I started some plants over there. And then there's my husband's shop right beside it. This is a Celeste fig, and he's only coming in at the bottom. Don't know what happened. This is a pistachio. That's really pretty. That is a fast grower. I'm proud of that. Fiona! I gotta call Fiona to make sure she's always walking with me. Now, this is another arbor that my husband and I put at, this is what I call his place because he's down here more than me. But we started putting grapes and black jumbo muscadines, and you'll see these. I put twinkle lights. We like to have everything aesthetically beautiful. This is a little magnolia Jane. There's the creek. I love the coreopsis. It's wild, grows wild out there. Great for pollinators. The muscadines down here are really doing great. They're underneath that hickory nut tree. I didn't know if it'd grow so well under the tree, but it's done amazing. And how we just keep this is we just keep it weed-eated down, and I think I'm going to put some shade cloth down this year. Okay, so we have walked from our property, what I call the farmhouse property, to the orchard. We have so much more room to do different things when I want to relax. And over here we've added, there's a bluebird right up there on the high line. We've added 3 bluebird boxes, and in this one, see the mama bluebird on the fence. I'm not gonna bother her, but she's got 2 eggs in there. And my husband said that there's already been 2 sets that have hatched out. There's a front of my little orchard house. My husband and I maintain all of our property by ourselves. It is a big chore, but we don't care. We love it. I'm going to show you the bird houses that we put in the back. So on that fence, there's the 2 almond trees. There's the bluebirds. And I have 2 more that my husband's putting together. And we'll go all down our fence. So this video is plenty for today. So I've taken you on a tour of August Creek Farmhouse. And then this is August Creek, but I just call it the orchard property, the orchard house. So the title is How to Teach You What You Need to Do in Life. What do you need to look for? What do you need to do? Whatever drops in your spirit, that is what you need to do. I don't care how silly, how strange, how crazy it sounds. In fact, don't even tell anybody, just start doing it. I've needed to do this YouTube channel for years. I had a lot of pushback from different ones. I should not have listened. I should not have let that get in my head. You don't either. Go for your dreams. That's why that was dropped in your spirit, because God knew that that was what was perfect for you. So believe in big, huge, impossible dreams. The ones that you know that you can't get done with just you. The ones that are so outlandish and so crazy that you know you have got to rely on a higher power to make it happen. My husband and I, every year, we don't know how we're going to get all this done, because we just keep adding. We keep adding and growing, but we do. We put systems into place, and we just start pushing and forging. Thank you for being here. I'm Charla. Scott's at work. We're trying to get him retired. We love you. Everyone is welcome at August Creek. No judgment. Everyone is welcome. If I gave you a hint of inspiration, if you liked one tiny little thing, I pray that you do, to help with my dream, if you don't mind, hit like, subscribe if you want to, turn on the notifications, and I promise I'll show up. I'm going to show up for myself. I'm going to show up for you, because I can't do one thing without you. Mwah. Love you. August Creek Farmhouse loves you. Go for your dreams.